We are back. Welcome to Double Cousins Unplugged, Episode 6 Real Talk, Real Family, and Real Fun. I am your co host, T, this week.
Every week, G, this makes me laugh. This dude saying this. I don't know why, but
he come up with a different
but it's
alias
good.
every week.
Hey,
He
well, hey,
does,
well,
man. And I'm your host, Andy Yamo. As T said, we're glad to see everyone back. We are currently live streaming for the second week. And what we want to talk about this week is important and a timely conversation on parenting Generation Z and Generation Alpha, the unique challenges, opportunities, and realities of raising today's youth. We'll kick off this episode with a special interview featuring Paducah native and retired NFL player for the Buffalo Bills and the Tennessee Titans, George G. Wilson, who will share his personal perspective and on parenting, mentoring, and helping guide to the teenagers through today's complex world. Following our conversation with G, we will expand the discussion with an outstanding panel of Paducah community leaders, including retired principal Miss Cynthia Alston, entrepreneur Tysee Milliken-Benjamin, educator Chiffon Winston, and senior pastor at Ninth Street Tabernacle Baptist Church, Milo Patterson. G, what's up? Appreciate you coming on, man.
What's going on, fellas? Appreciate you guys having
what
me
up, G?
on, man. You know, you
Thank you
guys are
for
my
coming.
OGs from Ninth Street Church of Christ. So
Ninth
y'all
Street.
y'all y'all
Yes,
blazed that
sir. Yes,
trail
sir.
for me,
Ninth Street in
man.
the
So
house.
man, hey, I appreciate y'all having me on, man. Happy to be a part of this
Absolutely.
conversation.
Thank you for being here.
Go ahead, T.
All right. So George, has been a person of the community. Uh, you've seen a lot. You've been all over the world playing football as well. We're going to have a few questions that we're going to ask you throughout this podcast. But first off, we'll allow you to tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll go into what we're here for.
All right, appreciate it. Well, as you guys know, but maybe some of the viewers don't. You know, I'm George Wilson, born and raised Paducah, Kentucky. Graduate of Paducah Tillman High School. Keiki, I know you always claiming that 93 is the best class, but class of 99 has something to say about that too. So, but no, man, just graduate of Paducah Tillman High School, graduated, went off to the University of Arkansas on an academic scholarship, walked on the football team, and eventually earned a athletic scholarship rather, and finished my career out there, you know, as a 2 year starter, have, you know, receiving records in their record books, and eventually went on to the NFL as an undrafted rookie free agent, originally with the Detroit Lions in 2004. Ended up moving to the Buffalo Bills later that season. Ended up staying in Buffalo for about 8.5 years through the end of the 2012 season. Finished up my last 2 years in Nashville with the Tennessee Titans in 13 and 14. And throughout my playing career, I was always active in the community, no matter where I was at. From the time I was in Fayetteville, Arkansas, to Detroit, Michigan, to Buffalo, New York, as well as Nashville, Tennessee, and a lot of my peers in the NFL did camps. You know, I've been in major cities from Houston to small cities like Waycross, Georgia, or Barney, Georgia. And you know, I've just been all over the country, working in the community, just being around kids, and just pouring into people in different communities. And uh, before I retired, I bought my family farm here in Paducah. I've been developing it, using it as a platform to bring people together to create lifelong memories and experiences, just like this land did for my family and I. And I'm just been back here in Paducah for about 5 years now, most of the time. I still have my home in Atlanta, but primarily here in Paducah. I felt like after I retired that I wanted to come back home to a place where I could pour back into in the same way that this community invested in me, and really pay forward those investments into this next generation. And it's just a great opportunity to be back home. It's a great place to raise a family, and I'm happy to be back here.
Glad to have you back here.
Man, we're glad to have you
I'm,
back, man.
yeah,
Go ahead,
I'm
T.
going to ask you a question if you don't mind. As a father and as a former NFL player and mentor, what do you believe is the biggest challenge facing parents raising Generation Z and Generation Alpha today?
It's several challenges. The first one is the first thought that came to mind is the technology. You know, we it's a gift and a curse in many ways. You know, it makes life easy, makes it convenient. Everything is at your fingertips, but at the same time, it restricts you or prevents you from being able to learn the soft skills or the intangibles. You know, you just think about from the difference in this generation is they can go to any of the AI softwares if they're working on a report and get every piece of information they need to put their report together.
Mm-hmm.
When we were coming up, we had to go to the library, go to the card catalog, you know, search for the book title, author title, all of that, and
Right.
really going through the old analog version of acquiring information, going to the different encyclopedias, flipping through the pages. You know, there was more effort put into having to do those research to get answers to questions, and now you can just type it in your phone, and that's just from an educational standpoint. And then you add the entertainment standpoint, whether that's YouTube or social media or you know, just all the different avenues that technology has afforded us, you know, video games, you know, to entertain ourselves. And it's how do we balance that? As a parent, when is too much? You know, how do we limit their screen time or their exposure to being overexposed or overabsorbing all that there is on the internet? How do we balance that and counteract that as a parent? And there's more than one way to do it, but you know, you have to be able to have ongoing conversations about what they are seeing, what they are listening to, and really try to create that open dialogue between your child and you to really understand what they're thinking, what they're feeling, what they're learning, what they're hearing, and really try to be a sounding board without trying to tear them down or judge them in a way that possibly may make them feel like they don't trust you or may clam up and not fully express themselves, and really just trying to balance that technology and all the advances that come with it.
So, last week, we were talking about the 8th of August and the incident that happened on Boyd Street, where unfortunately a young lady was unalived. And as I said last week, we had young teenagers, young youth walking around with techs and Dracos and guns like that. They shouldn't have the pew pews, period. So again, this is becoming an issue in our city. As we all know, just 2 weeks ago, I believe we had another incident of a young man that was unalived. I'm not sure what the incident was about, but we lost another young black male to pew pew violence. And what do you think we can do, or what do we need to do to get these kids to, as they did back in the 80s, put down the pews and focus on something? There's something better than life than thinking you're a thug and taking someone's life. What do you think we, as a generation, as I said, like you said, we were a village back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Today's parents, I think majority of the Gen Zs and Alphas are their parents may be millennials. They, to me, my opinion, they are really not focused on if you say something to them. Where back in the day, if you said something to somebody's kid, if it is what it is, you could have got it then by them and also by the parent when you got home. What do you think we could do to encourage these millennial parents to acknowledge that we are a village, and to, if they need help with something, what can to how they can reach out to us as older
Yeah,
adults?
yeah, that's a great question, and I totally agree with you. We were raised up in a time where it was the village who looked after us, and I think that's something that we need to try to return to, having a more of a communal
Hmm.
approach to parenting and servicing our youth. You can't be everywhere all the time, and to be able to have eyes and ears around the community. We growing up, you get into some trouble before you made it home. Your mom already got the phone call from somebody across town who saw you. And but that was just more of us trying to be that community, that village, to really be able to help support each other.
Mm-hmm.
Now, even before the pandemic, but since the pandemic, we've become so isolated in our silos, our personal silos, to where it's like, hey, I'm gonna take care of me and mine. Don't say nothing to my child,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
that I can understand why some parents may choose to do that route. If you don't, you may have trust issues, or you may have past experiences from your childhood that make you feel a little bit more guarded about yours. But the
Mm-hmm.
whole thing about it is trying to connect with people that can be your support system, because you can't be everything to your child and be everywhere. And so you have to have that supportive system. You have to have those church members, those neighbors, those coaches, those teachers, because they get to see your child at moments that you don't, and they can see
Mm-hmm.
things and observe things that you may not be aware of. And that just knowing is better than not knowing, especially when you're raising kids. And so we have to have a community conversation about what that looks like. What are
Mm-hmm.
you comfortable with as a parent? And it's not on one entity. I think it's going to take a collaborative effort from the city government, city and county government,
Mm-hmm.
from the school
Right.
district, from our faith community, from our business community. When you think of public safety, the only the solutions to public safety aren't just putting more police officers on the street, or not just building or expanding the jail footprint. Those are
Right.
reactionary responses to public safety issues. We need to look at what are preventative measures we can take to prevent our children from making those decisions out of desperation. How do we equip them with the soft skills, the professional skills, to be able to qualify for more high paying jobs? How do we deter them or distract them from getting into trouble in the neighborhood by having
Mm-hmm.
meaningful enrichment opportunities and after school programs? How do we go to the business community and connect the curriculum in the classroom to real world career pathways, and so on and so forth? But it's going to take a group effort. It's going to take that village approach. And like I said, that communal approach to parenting and serving our youth, and just understand that you can't be the only voice. We all have kids. It does so much to hear. We bark at our kids every day at home, but sometimes it just takes another voice, another face
Mm-hmm.
that say the exact same thing that you're saying at home, to reinforce that. And having those different voices sometimes make a difference, because if a child continues to hear that from everybody that they cross paths with, then at some point in time it'll resonate with them, and be able to help them to understand that what they're saying has some validity to it, and maybe I should consider what they're trying to tell me.
Yeah, good point. Good point. From my perspective, I think we all know that besides the children, the issue starts at home. Issue starts with how these kids are being raised, what they're being taught at home. So getting the parents involved with these type of programs, getting the parents involved with more activities and stuff, showing the children that they truly care, they truly are a parent, will help. Kids nowadays, they feed from peer pressure from the streets. My buddy doing this, or my friend has this, has that. Whereas I don't have this, I don't have that. We have to let them know that, hey, opportunities is out there for you, but going the wrong route is not going to lead you to, where you need to be. It's going to lead you to somewhere you don't need to be. So having parents more involved, uh, to me starts the overall process of what our children need in life, because they a lot of them tend to push away, rebel. We all know
Mm-hmm.
they're doing what they're doing because they're not getting that let's cookie at home or whatever, so they're lashing out. What can we do to get the kids to open up, to talk, to let us know, hey, I'm here for you. I want the best for you. But on the same token, you need to understand where I'm coming from as a parent, to let you know this is going to lead you in the right direction. That's all I'm here for. Me myself, I've been all over the world. I've dealt with different cultures, different communities, and I've seen it all. Seen it all, and I saw how they raised their children. And like you said, it took a village. You had people living in the same home to raise their kids. You had people, if you step out on the streets, they're still getting on to you. Someone
Mm-hmm.
is always having the best interest for your children. So never look at parents need to look at it not in a negative way, but look at it in a positive way, because all we want is the best for all children.
Absolutely.
One other thing. Go ahead, G. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was going to just agree with them that at the end of the day, these conversations and these solutions that we're talking about starts at home. This is what our kids are dealing with. They come to school acting out what they mimicking the behaviors that they see at home. If there's
Mm-hmm.
no structure in the household, then how can you expect them to abide by rules and guidelines at school or in the neighborhood? And so it starts at home, and that's it's a tough conversation to have because nobody really wants to be told how to raise their kids because we're supposed to be grown and mature adults, but every parent is not qualified. I'm just gonna say it. Some
Real talk.
parents are having kids at young ages where they haven't fully grown and matured. And when you
Mm-hmm.
start doing that, that becomes a ripple effect, a domino effect, to where now you have a young parent raising a young child, and if that parent doesn't do the self work, do the the growth and the maturation beyond just a parent just improving their personal selves, and their kids don't see that, and they just become complacent, and generational complacency is a real thing. There
Mm-hmm.
are families that that every generation has lived in public housing, or every generation has gone to prison, or every generation didn't make it beyond high school education because of whatever decisions that they made, and that becomes a habitual mindset that's passed on from generation to generation, and there has to be some ownership about, hey, we may not, this is where we are, and I am where I am because of the decisions that I made. But as a parent, one thing that we should all have in common is that we want better for our children. And if we want better, we do better. We do differently than was done with us and to us, to ensure that our offspring are left in a place that's better than what they came into it as. And that's the difficult conversation. But as parents, we need to come in with an open mind, because I mean, hey, I do the work in the community. I'm involved, but I'm not gonna get on here and act like I know everything there is about being a good parent. I'm always willing to listen and hear somebody else's perspective to see if, okay, maybe I can take something that they said to me and apply that to me and my son's relationship or to my household. And that's the thing. We have to be open minded without being emotional or in our feelings because we hear something that we don't like, or we're being called out on something that we're not doing or that our child is not doing. There has to be accountability. And if you're not going to hold your child accountable, the system will. And you can't be
The
mad
hard
at the
way.
system when you haven't done your part at home.
Right.
And you can't be mad at the community when they take measures to try to rein in your child because you
Mm-hmm.
refuse to step up to the plate and do what's necessary.
Yep. And the thing, like you were saying earlier, with acting out in school, some of the times you will have those parents come up there when the school is called to say, "Hey, this is what your child is doing. Then they start acting out right in front of that kid, and then that kid is like, my mom's got my mom or dad, they got my back, so I can do this again. I know they're gonna cover me.
Right.
So
Right.
that's an issue. But and then you brought up about the businesses being involved. I remember back when I graduated from college, I came back home and there was the my father-in-law, the Bobby Jones um, program with the city where they would hire the teenagers and they would work in city hall. Different
Yeah.
organizations were part
Summer
of it. They
youth
doing it
program.
again.
Yeah.
Yes, and they're doing
Hmm.
it again now, but not as many kids. So and I'm just go ahead and put this out there to the city. I challenge you. I've said this to previous mayors. That needs to be brought back to encourage these kids about responsibility and jobs. And you got to look at it on a in an economic perspective. If they're getting paid, they're occupied, they're going to put that money back into the city of Paducah economy. So my challenge to the city and to the county, find the money. You can put some of that money from other things that you got in your budget to the side and hire these a lot more of these kids to um, get jobs and learn some trades or whatever. So Paducah, McCracken County, let's get it.
Your
That's right.
George,
budget.
we got three other people coming. Go ahead, and I
Okay,
got
I was
some other
gonna
people
say
that are ready to come in.
your budget reflects your priorities and your mindset.
Yes, sir. Yes,
At the
sir.
end of the day, we can make the investment that we would make on the front end to address some of these issues. If we do it right, that return on that investment would be significantly higher and more than what the initial investment is. But continuing to do the same thing or doing nothing at all is going to cost all of us. It's going to cost all of us. So we have to take ownership of this as a community, all aspects, all entities, and we have to come to the table and start having these discussions about how we can align ourselves and collaborate to be able to service our community in a more meaningful and impactful way.
Right.
Great, great. Hey, G, before we transition over to the next segment, I want to ask you one last question, if you could respond to it. Looking back on your own upbringing in Paducah, what lessons from your parents still influence how you parent today?
Oh man, just showing up. Like that's one thing. Like my mom was a single mother. She worked at Western Baptist Hospital for 42 years. But my mom made sure that she was there for every game, every recital, every Christmas program. And there were some things that she wasn't able to make, and we knew that she was making sacrifices wherever she could. But showing up, my mom was one of the loudest people in the crowd at our games, and as a kid, we almost would be embarrassed because, like, Mama, we can hear you on the field, or we can hear you on the court. But when I got to college and I saw my teammates who didn't have that didn't have people showing up for them, that didn't have anybody waiting for them outside of the locker room, being able to have parents that showing up for you, not just when it's convenient, not when it's comfortable, but like not just when you're doing it right, but just showing up for you each and every day, pouring into you, investing into you, not just to for content on social media, but showing up and invest. Like you said, Cake, you took your children to go fishing. Take me fishing. Go teach me something. Give me a skill set that's gonna sustain me for the rest of my life. Sit down and read a book with me. Teach me something. Give me your time and your full attention
Mhm.
consistently, because now I know that you care and I don't have to go and seek attention from somebody else, from a stranger, from somebody who doesn't have my best interests at heart. Show up and show up consistently to be able to show your kids that you truly care beyond what you say.
Amen.
All right. Well,
Amen.
we appreciate you, G. Hopefully, you can stick around. I do have something lined up. I want you. We're gonna. I'm just gonna put a little bit out there on it. I've got the. Well, before we get everybody else going, I'm waiting on Miss Austin to come in. So while we're doing that, G, I downloaded the what is it? Fade to Melanin
Oh,
event coming up the 8th of
shade,
August. If you like to,
shades of melanin. Yes, over the 8th of on
yeah,
Saturday. Yeah, you could,
I
on
messed it up
Saturday,
last
August
week
the
too.
8th.
That's a
Yeah.
blooper for you. That's one.
Edit that out, cuz.
It's the wrong one, cuz.
Rosia's, yeah, Rosia killed it in her
Is that the right
company.
one? Let me find it.
Yeah,
Okay, give me a
Rosia
second.
and
I
I
don't know what
partnered
I
together
had.
to come back and do Shades of Melanin, just as a to align with the 8th of August celebration and celebrating the emancipation of African Americans from slavery, and really just changing it up. Typically she's historically known to do an all white, but with this being the
Mm-hmm.
50-year celebration for the W.C. Young, leading the 8th of August celebration efforts, and really just around, black excellence and our history and heritage and culture. We thought changing it up to with the shades of melanin, where, just the imagery of everybody in different shades of brown, just like our people. We come in different colors and shades, but really just celebrating community and culture and connection.
Well, just to let you guys know, I'm gonna be showing my shades. I will be there. So get ready. I'm coming to town.
We'll have indoor for
So what?
line dancing, the older crowd. We'll have, another DJ outside for a younger audience. It's 30 plus to get in. We want to try to have a mature audience to where people feel comfortable and safe, and really be able to connect with each other in a meaningful way. And we're just looking forward to just, getting the community back together again.
Great.
It's nice, nice.
Well, we appreciate it. I can't wait. I've already got my outfit. I dropped my mic, so y'all go ahead and deal. I got another blooper.
This man here, I tell you, it's something. Hey,
I
we want
can't
to
help it,
thank
man.
thank you for our two attendees who just joined in, Pastor Milo Patterson and Miss Class of '94, Chiffon Winston.
Oh Lord.
The best class
We got
ever.
we
See,
we got
we always
94
go
here.
through
No.
As the kids say, clock it.
Yeah, they representing.
Let's see how
Yeah.
quick I take her out of here.
Don't do it.
Hey, we appreciate y'all both coming in.
Yes,
I don't
sir.
know if it's. Are y'all seeing the square box? I don't know if that's me. Okay, that is Miss Austin. She gonna put me in the White House.
Don't do that.
If I don't hurry up and get her up in here.
I remember that.
Hold up.
Oh
Miss
yeah.
Austin,
Hey,
what's going
let's put
on?
it this way. We're waiting for her stuff for everything to come in, but I'm honored to have one of the goats come in with us and talk. Me and Tion were talking about this last week, I said, "Hey, we definitely getting Miss Austin on here to talk because
Mm-hmm.
she got
Yes.
that knowledge."
Well, you
Yes,
can't
sir.
see my face because
Yes.
I've been working in my yard all day. That's too bad.
That's all right.
That's all right. All we need to hear is the voice.
All right.
Hey, we
Yes.
appreciate you, Miss Austin, being in here with us. So if y'all been listening, you've heard us talking to G about how we can better equip the millennial parents, what we can do, how we can encourage the Generation Z and Alpha to look at life with a perspective of success, and not going down hopefully not going down that road of being in a penal system. Um, Chiffon, um, Milo, or Miss Austin, let's see what y'all got to say about that.
Ladies first.
Miss Austin can go first. She's awesome.
Hmm.
Now, you all start. I just walked in out of the yard. Give me a minute. Go ahead.
Okay,
Okay,
I'll
all
I'll be
right.
start.
on in a minute. I've been in the yard all day.
I'll start.
Well, I tell you,
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
actually, I'll tell you what. I'll start off by giving you a question, if that's okay.
Sure.
All right. From a classroom experience, what difference do you see between students whose parents are actively involved versus those who are not?
Hmm. What I see is behavior. The behavior is totally different from the parents that are involved. from the ones that's not, the parents that's not involved. Our students are want attention. They do more, I say, behavior things to get that attention. And it depends on who the teacher is as well. If it's our African American students and they have a white teacher, they're really going to show out. If they have a black teacher or someone that looks like them, then they'll show out, but they know where to stop, per se, or know how far they can go. Put it that way.
Right.
I feel that the kids that don't have the parental support, I think Keiki had just said it about the school to prison pipeline. I feel that our kids that of color students, from starting in elementary, when they start going to in school suspension and blah 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 blah, that follows them to middle school to high school, and they're already labeled before they get to middle school. So the teachers look at the list, the kids they're gonna have before the kids get there. So they're asking the other teachers, "Is this so and so sibling? Oh Lord, da 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 da." So now they're being judged before they even the teachers even getting to know who they are. And that's not all teachers. I'm just saying what I experienced.
Yeah,
I
I'll be
agree.
careful. Yeah, I'm
I,
sorry. Go ahead, Miss Austin. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I agree with Chiffon. But I will say, when I was working, I would not allow them to look at the discipline record from elementary school. I would not let them pull it. I said, these are children starting over again. And I think part of what I see now is most of my staff, they knew they had to get in the community. They had to go to programs that the kids were doing. They had to get to know the parents. And now it just looks like everybody's on their own and on their phone. They're not really
Mm-hmm.
worried about getting to know the kids or getting to know their parents. And it's because I sat in a class one day and just looked. It didn't matter, it was an adult in that class. They just acted a fool. And then
Mm-hmm.
one mother told me she sat in her son's class and he had to clown. And she thought, she got up and took him out. Like he just thought it was okay to do it, even though his mother was sitting there. And I thought, none of us would have done it if our mama came in. First of all, they better not come in the classroom. We already in trouble.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a
All day
different mind,
long.
it's a different mindset to me of the teachers. And they're not all bad teachers. I'm not saying that. But they don't have the concern to get in there and get to know the kid as well, I don't think.
I think, speaking on what Miss Austin saying as well as Chiffon, that with that comes, I heard it all my life growing up with my daddy being the chief of police. He sent his officers out to the community. How can you serve your community if you don't know your community? Vices
Mm-hmm.
now, when people see the police come up, they scatter
Hmm.
because all this stuff going on around the world. The police are now become the bad guys and not out there to protect and serve in the eyes of man now. And so I just think that foundationally we need to come together and get it back right. These kids, when you're in the classroom and if your parents are there, you still clown, that means that the home is messed up.
Exactly.
And I feel that everything that we talk about, it starts in the foundation of the home. And that's what we do. Speaking on the church, we partner up, we get the kids from Anderson Court and all that. But our goal is, it's okay if your child comes, but them parents need to come too, because it don't matter if
That's
you
it.
you teaching those kids about Jesus Christ. What about those parents? And nowadays, it wasn't like us. Like I was talking to Keiki the other day at his house. It wasn't like us when we was growing up. Well, I wasn't gonna do nothing because my mom and daddy, but everybody in the community in the city of Paducah had the right to chastise you if you was doing wrong.
Yes.
And
Right.
so nowadays, that's not even a factor. It's not even up for discussion, because for one, the parents are gonna smart off at you, and for two, the kids are gonna do the same thing, because guess what? They mom and dads, if he's present, don't even discipline. So what makes them think
Mm-hmm.
that they're gonna be allowed to be disciplined by somebody in the community? So we need to get to the root cause of why, and I think it is because, as I was telling Keiki, when we was growing up, you had the few that would get pregnant in the high school level, and they was kind of frowned upon, the black sheep. You get pregnant early, but they still was in an environment where the community helped them. Now it's normal.
Mm-hmm.
Kids are having kids, and
Hmm.
so when that's going on, guess what? Mom and daddy not worried about Junior now. They worried about, oh, I'm still about to go out here and do what I used to do before I had you. So what they doing, they putting these phones, these tablets, those PlayStation controllers in these kids' hands. And as long as they out of their hair, they not worried about them. They didn't care what time little Johnny comes in the house. You know what I'm saying? And they not really worried if he gets on that school bus, if he gets to school. You know what I'm saying? They tell him, excuse me, hey, go get me a bag. Go to the liquor store. They the runners for their parents now, because there's too many parents trying to be friends instead of being parents.
Yes.
Mhm.
You know, Milo, one of the other things about that is that, like Miss Austin said, that a parent could be in there with the kid and they're going to clown with a parent in there. If my mom was in there and I clown in the class,
No, sir.
have the ambulance waiting outside.
Mhm.
And I mean, that's one of the issues right there. These kids know that the law has now become, well, if you touch me, I'm going to call the
Yeah.
police.
Yes, sir.
So these kids that has handicap. That could be an issue of it's handicap discipline too, because parents are like, well, I'm not trying to go to jail. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't care about going to jail
Right.
They're right.
myself,
Yeah.
Get
because
that
I
right.
I told my kids, wherever you clown is where I'm gonna clown you.
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
care. Take me in. But if my kid ever called the police on me, when I get out, they better not be at my house. They now belong to the state.
Mhm.
One of
That's
my
just
parents
it.
one of my parents once, she said her child called the police, and she said the police said he's because she gonna beat him, and he said you can't do that. She said, well, take him with you, because when you leave, I'm gonna beat him. Take me or
Hmm.
take him. One of us is going to
Right.
jail tonight.
Right.
Mhm.
That's real. And
Right.
like Milo said, we were talking the other day, Milo, taking the paddle out of the school or letting the parent come there to chastise that kid for
Right. Right.
acting up in the school. That the issue with that with schools is we're gonna have that one day too, talking about education, is that you're not only harming yourself education wise, you're harming those who are in the class who want to learn. And as I
Right.
said earlier, and if these parents are coming up there jumping on the teachers in front of their kid, they just gave that kid the right to do that
Firepower.
because my mom's got me, as I said earlier.
Mhm. And like,
Able
and
to.
then take what else we were saying is, when you get down to the root cause of the school, it's a thing that we are given free will. And when they took the good Lord out of school, it start
Yeah.
crumbling. You know what I'm saying? When you start giving people these options that we're not gonna pray in school, we're not gonna do this and do that, and you changing things up that was normal for us, guess what? You allowed the enemy to creep into your schoolhouse because it's not covered, you know?
Right.
But how do we get to the parents? Because those parents probably are not at church. When you say, well, the church used to be the place to speak to people, but now
Mhm.
the ones we're talking about are not at church. So how do we go
Hmm.
out to get them? What,
See,
because I don't know the answer, seriously.
You
Miss
you
Austin,
know
what we
what's you
doing?
know what's strange is a lot of parents, they may not show up for educational events, but they'll show up for a sporting event,
Right.
you know, and that's sad. So maybe, just maybe, you utilize these sporting events that they show up at to grab their attention because they find sports to be more important than getting their little ones educated.
They do.
Yeah. And they won't
Mhm.
show up to parent teacher conferences either. So
Right.
Yeah.
when I
Right.
was at McNabb,
Site
I was
base.
the PTO president. So what I did was we had a block party, and then we had the teachers in the gym. And when the parents came up, they had to get a ticket for food, but they had to go see the teacher first because they would not come. They won't show up.
Yeah.
And site base, like Kiki said, we were on site base together, and they were trying to get
Hmm.
our kids to get a, what was it, a 2.0 or no, a 1.5 average to play football.
1.5.
You done lost
Yes.
your mind. And we
Mm.
kept saying, "Where's the parents? The parents went in. They didn't
Yeah.
care as long as they played sports. You
Yeah.
got
Yep.
wrong people on this board. Mm-mm,
Right.
no,
That's right.
it's crazy."
So I think another thing that Milo, you touched on it, that your church will bring y'all go over talk to the kids from Anderson Court. And I'm not saying it's a competition between churches, but I just think our churches need to all come together and come up with a solution to bring
Mhm.
what we can all do as a community. I don't care if you're Baptist, Church of Christ, whatever. Right now, it's about these kids and how to keep them from, as I said, getting put in the penal system. We lost one kid. Now we got one allegedly that could be going to prison for the rest of his life because of an incident of having pew pews. So we
Mhm.
got to all come together, churches, parents, and everything. It's just got to be a sense of, okay, I know this person. I'm gonna tell them to come. George knows this person. Bring them in. If they don't come to church, we got to figure out a way to get people to come together. And I mean, you got the 8th of August coming up. I don't know what all events they got going, if there's anything like that, but I think that's a prime example of something we've got to do is the churches all have to come together and be part of that solution.
I think that's
And
a
what you
great
saying that,
point.
Cakey, me, Pastor Steve Harvey, Pastor Marcus Turnley, Pastor Joe Warren, we have a prayer group and we get together and see, we got to get, first of all, in the church, we got to get away from the Baptist, the Church of Christ, the name.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
only one goal
Mm-hmm.
in this Christian
Mm-hmm.
walk. You know what I'm saying? And so what we're trying to do is, I told him, man, the visions that I have is, man, I don't care that if we, the mega churches, build one big church, bring one big umbrella, have every pastor in the city of Paducah have a Sunday to preach. But guess what? You bring in that congregation with you. So now guess what?
Mm-hmm.
You got more people from different churches that now you have a group and you have a setting that you can grab those. Like you was telling me, man, when I told you, I said, man, bro, we got every Sunday in the church, this Sunday we can have 50, 60 youth. And you said, man, bro, we don't have that much, cuz, you know what I'm saying? And that's a problem because guess what? Back when we was growing up, church was it. Everybody wanted
Every
to go to church.
Wednesday and vacation
Vacation
Bible
Amen.
Bible
school.
school, anything.
Mm-hmm.
It was going. We was wanting to go to church, and so now we got to get back to that in a sense because guess what? We can speak all we want to, but that's the walk right now. So
Right.
I
You
agree
had a,
with
But
go
you
that.
ahead,
you
George. Hold on, Tia. Let George go real
No,
quick.
go ahead, George.
I was just gonna, echo what Milo said, and we have to move beyond what the name is on the marquee out front,
Mm-hmm.
how we worship on Sunday, and align ourselves on what we do have in common. And the church is
mhm.
there to serve the community, the neighborhood, and their congregation. We have churches in every neighborhood around this community. We've already in this discussion uncovered, where the school system services stop. So how do we align the churches in a way to be able to fill that gap and extend that school day, whether that's tutoring, whether that's mentoring programs, whether that's home economic training, because most churches have kitchens as well.
Mm-hmm.
Aligning that with sports leagues, because travel sports is tearing our generation of young athletes apart
Mhm.
because of the financial barriers that restrict a lot of participation from low income families. And
Exactly.
so these are the type of conversations that we have to have and continue to have, and because to me, we're waiting. It seems that our community is waiting for somebody else to come and save us. Nobody's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
We
Right.
have to
Right.
save ourselves. We
Absolutely.
yeah.
have to save ourselves.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
we have enough people with enough experience, with enough expertise, with enough network to be able to tap into to really put together a meaningful approach to how we get on base. We're not going to be able to do it all at once. We're not going to be able to do it overnight. But we have to start with aligning a group of individuals that
Mhm.
have a passion for Paducah, that have a passion for youth, and figure out how we can align ourselves and use our skill sets in a more meaningful way, because our kids are crying out for help, but they're asking for a lifeline, and we're not able to throw them the lifeline to pull them back to shore or to get them out of that water that's drowning them. And so we have to start having these conversations of how do we take What's all because a lot of churches are already doing great works. We have to align ourselves and start having conversations. Okay, you're doing this over here. If you got tutoring over
Mm-hmm.
here, and you have a men's
Mm-hmm.
mentorship group over here, and you
Right.
have a young ladies program over here where you're teaching them, how to, you know, hygiene and home economics and relationships and even on top of all of that, we're going to have the difficult conversation of how do we address the traumas that our kids have experienced in their household. We have to take the stigma off of mental health
Mm-hmm.
and understand that we all have our issues and we all are some of our life experiences that makes us who we are. And it also shapes the way we view relationships, whether they're intimate, whether they're platonic, whether, no matter what that is, we have to start addressing them on that deeper level because just bringing the kid in for a couple of hours a week, it's not going to do it. We need consistent programming, Monday through Friday, weekends, summers. We need enrichment opportunities, exposures to new ways of thinking, new ways of doing things. And this is a lot of work. I'm not sitting up here saying this is going to be easy or that one
Uh-uh.
person or one group can do it, but we got to start somewhere.
Yes,
We
sir.
got to start somewhere. We can't continue to just talk about it and talk about it. At some point, we got to step up to the plate and swing at the ball.
I really
Go ahead,
think.
T.
Go ahead, T.
Oh, go ahead, Talton. Go ahead.
I really think that we have to start with the parents because we've done many programs over the years, and parents will say, "Well, my child didn't want to get up this morning, so I didn't." And we over here waiting on your child. You need to get that child out of bed. We've been to the home and said, they coming today. So there was a time some time ago, Olivia Burr and I did a program over in Elmwood Court, and we would meet with the parents at their little community center area and talk to them about how to come to school and talk about your child, how to find out things. So I really think we've got to start with the parents somewhere. I don't know how. And I'm not one of those people that like to bring them pizza and all of that because we had stuff at school and would have food for them
Me
and they
either.
still wouldn't show up. I don't believe in
Yeah.
that. You
Me
got a
either.
responsibility to your child.
Yes.
Oh,
Good points. Good points.
I think also with the parent wise, this generation is totally different. They
Yeah,
have, I mean, they're at age 20 and 30 being grandparents already. And so they're still trying to be out in the world or whatever the case may be. So now their kids are off on their parents is probably like in their 40s or 50s. And then the other grandparent, all these generations in one house. And then the woman, the parent, the grandparent that's actually taking care of the kids is the one that probably can't even get out to the school because of a health
mm,
issue or
Mm-hmm.
or don't have a car, whatever the case may be. So I think it's the generation because our generation, if I was on the outside acting a fool, somebody's calling my grandmother, they whooping my tail, they gonna send me home, my grandmother whooping my tail, and my mama. So it's just
Amen.
like, you know,
Hmm.
where is the village? There's no more village like it used to be.
right.
Mhm.
It's just
Could
I,
you?
I think this generation is just so different. And then they're so not defiant. I don't know the word I'm trying to say, but
I think
when
you're
you
right.
do try
Defiant.
to have a conversation like, hey, I noticed Johnny shoes were tore up today, and I sent him to get some shoes from the resource. Was that okay? Just things like that. Just something simple that you can't even have a conversation about. The child's shoe was messed up or whatever. I'm just making up something. So
Okay, I think Chiffon froze. So whenever you freeze, we got something for you. You ain't paid your cable bill.
Because,
Get that 7-Eleven internet, cuz.
right.
actually, I have Xfinity.
Yeah, but
There's the problem.
yeah. Hey, but you all hitting it right on the spot. The biggest problem that and I notice is kids having kids,
Hmm.
and
Mhm.
they're missing that adult leadership, that that's there to teach them how to be a kid. Kids are having kids and not being able to go out, play, have fun, learn how to grow up, but instead they're raising babies and they're still a baby. So, like Miss Austin said, getting parents involved, having parents, the church can help. The church ain't gonna solve the problem. They're part of the process.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to ask yourself, how can we get the parents to come out? How can we get the kids to want to participate? Right? My thought process on that was, well, we know kids nowadays they love social media, right? That's the avenue. What we're doing right now is getting out to folks, and they're seeing it. And trust me, there are kids looking and reading and hearing the conversation because they're giving us feedback. So you got to start somewhere and let them know the door is open and stuff. And then from there, where do we go? We involve
Yeah.
others and we build off of that process. And hopefully, if we can get one, two, we're making a difference somehow.
So we got a in the public chat. We got a two questions by one of our um, uh, people in the chat. So let me read these off. And Tion, they actually relate to what you said just a moment ago. It's this is from Savvy. He was one of our guests last week. It's more people at on Sundays in the park than in the church. He says we should meet where they're at, and that's in the park.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yes.
You have to meet
But
people where they are. You
yeah,
know,
Where
Right.
we
they are.
can't we can't wait for them to come to us. You got to go meet them where they are. And if
Hmm.
you can make that personal connection, no matter what that is, if you got to meet them in the home and the home is smoked out, don't judge the smoke. Let's
mm-hmm.
talk about what we here for. If they're gonna be at the park, let's go meet them at the park. But at the end of the
Right.
day, you have to meet people where they are if you really desire to have a meaningful connection and you want them to open up and trust you and listen to you. You can't wait for them to come to you.
and
Okay. Here's
and
his other question. Go ahead. Go ahead, Milo.
and
I'll get it afterwards.
and then this is the thing too to elaborate on what G talking about. Far as on the church aspect, the Great Commission, it tells us to go to all nations, not just to your neighborhood. So guess what? Just to piggyback on what he's saying, hey, if their neighborhood is the mall, guess what? You gotta go to the mall. If their neighborhood is the bowling alley, you gotta go to the bowling alley. If their neighborhood is the Blackburn, you gotta go to Blackburn. Wherever they at, you gotta go. And that's the thing, what I'm saying? When I be out, it's not for myself, it's I'm told to watch and pray. So you're observing what's going on around you. And then you trying to pull from what you see and being the thing that you been there with them guys before, they talk to you. So you pick their brain. Every opportunity that you get, you pick their brain. A lot of people, man, Lo, I respect you for what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And that's because, what I'm saying, I was blessed to have a mother and a father and the community and family members that looked out. It was just a whole different atmosphere growing up. And so guess what? Now it's coming back. So now you got to pour in the same way that you got poured into. So
Right.
that's what we just got to do. And it's the thing about it, man, bro. We sisters and brothers, we can't be scared. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know what's going on, all that, but guess what? Everybody has a appointed time. And if it happens when we doing what's right, then guess what? My reward is not here, but in heaven. You know what I'm saying? So you had to change your mental to affect these kids because guess what? They lost. They don't know.
Well, before we went live, Tion and G and myself were talking about. I hate to keep bringing it up. The young man that was unalived a few weeks ago. He was part of a pilot program at Paducah Tillman, and one of the things G told him, G said, was that it took, along with these other uh, male students, it took 3 to 4 weeks for them to get comfortable with those mentors to
Mm-hmm.
open up to them. So we've got to figure, that's another thing. Like, and as I told G, being G's status in the city of Paducah and all the things that he does, that even it took that 4 weeks for them to still open up to someone like him. So that's one of the issues we see right there is like he was saying with the mental health thing is being able to trust these
Mm-hmm.
adults. And just one more thing from Savvy, he said, "Where are the fathers? Fathers have a role that is no longer respected nor wanted. The village is sick, uneducated, and traumatized." So that's another thing we got to do. We've got to get these fathers to be involved.
Mm-hmm.
And again, men have to be involved. Period.
A
Yes,
hundred
sir.
percent. You know, I mean, on many levels, you know, the fathers have been under assault from the government, from our own community, from social media and the internet. You know, we've been branded a certain way. You know, we,
Hmm.
you know, we're being marketed and advertised to in a way to think, you know, to expose us or open us up to things that are destructive to us
Mm-hmm.
as a community and as a people. And we'd rather for the things that require less of ourselves. We don't want the challenge. We'd rather take
Hmm.
the path of least resistance, but that also leads you to a place that doesn't mean well for you, you know. But I'm not blaming it on everybody else. There has to be some culpability and some responsibility for the fathers. You have to step up. If you create a life, you are responsible for that life.
Right.
Regardless if you are married to the mother or in a relationship with the mother or not. You can't allow your personal differences between uh, the mother and the father to get in the way of providing for the child.
Mm-hmm.
It just can't fall on the woman. A woman can't teach a boy how to be a man, you know, and some women have taken on that mindset that they can, and some men have outsourced that to other people. So there's fault and responsibility on all fronts on this in this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But if we have that village, there should be some uncles, there should be some coaches, there should be some grandfathers, there should be some members, some brothers at church, you know, to be able to help step up and fill that void. My dad lived in New York City when I was a kid growing up. It was my grandfather who stood in the gap for me. It was Coach Fred Coleman at the Boys and Girls Club who stood in the gap for me. It was Brother Joe Reeves at Ninth Street Church of Christ that stood in the
Oh
gap
yeah.
for me. You know, and I'm sure we can go across, you know, the panel tonight, and I'm sure there were multiple men who played a meaningful role in all of our lives. But you know, there has to be a resurgence of fathers stepping up to the plate. It can't just be the mothers trying to carry this load, and we as men have to hold each other accountable. Our friends, our peers, if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing as a parent, as a father, we have to go to them and have those difficult conversations and challenge them and take them by the hand if we have to. Put your arm around. This is not to tear you down. This is
Mm-hmm.
not to you know, to be detrimental to you. We have to change the way, you know, we so hands off with everything. We got to be more hands on with our kids, with our peers, with our fathers, just with our community as a whole. Because, like I said earlier, nobody's coming to save us, man. No pity party. Nobody's
Right.
coming to save us. We have to save ourselves, and at some point, we got to pick ourselves up off the mat and get back in the fight.
Mm-hmm.
I think the question was asked earlier, how important are the parents? You know, if a child has parents who come to school and one who doesn't. And I heard since I've been out that some parents were barred from school because of, I don't know how they acted in a conference or something. And I thought, how are they going to do that? You know, that's very important for the child for them to be there. So perhaps we could start with being liaisons for parents. You know, like I sat in several conferences, one at Clark and one at McNabb, you know, just they would call me and I go in and sit in the conference with them and ask the right questions. So we need to be there to give the parents the backbone to go do that. You know, some of them don't want to, you know, say, I don't want to go in there. I remember what it was like in school. So I think it's a lot of people out here who would help if we just knew how to get those people that need the help to us.
And also, the parents don't realize how much power they have
Right.
in the school system. They don't realize how much
Exactly.
they have all the power, and they don't even know it.
Exactly.
Well, I think one thing needs to be said is parents don't need to be afraid to speak up and ask for help when you need it. I think a lot of parents tend to be embarrassed if I'm asking, a pastor or asking a teacher for help because they feel as though all their burdens on me. Letting parents know that, hey, it's our job. We're here to help. Ask, reach out. Don't be scared to speak up, you know, and ask for help. You know that I tell you, it just I, I don't know, I don't know. But hey, anyhow, uh, I'm going to ask each of you guys a question if you don't mind. One last question. Uh, so we'll start off with Miss Austin. You ready for this question?
We'll see.
All right, all right. I'm gonna keep it easy on you. All right. After spending so many years as a principal, what changes have you seen in parenting from previous generations compared to Generation Z and Alpha?
Okay, I was thinking when Milo and Andiamo were talking, I could be in a conference with a kid acting up, and I could say, "Gee, where you go to church?" And do you go? And he'd say, "Yeah." And I say, "What's your preacher's name?" He'd tell me, "That's what they teach you how to act over here at this school. I'm gonna call you a preacher over here." And they go, "Oh no, please don't." I think the difference is we knew the community. We
Yeah.
know and I'd have a problem talking about church. I'll say, "Okay, we're gonna have a silent prayer. If you don't want to pray, I'm gonna pray." So I think we've lost all of that. People are so afraid of losing their jobs and being sued that it's different. And then we all knew, I know your grandmama, I know your granddaddy, I know your uncle, your aunt, your cousin. Somebody gonna get over here. I'm gonna call somebody in here, and
Mhm.
they're gonna take care of this problem. And without a Andiamo, we called his mama one day for his younger brother, and we were actually scared we were gonna get sued because she whipped him so bad. We thought, oh Lord, we in trouble. So parents that would just come on the drop, they can't leave their jobs now, so they need somebody to come in their stead. There's so many people that can't afford to leave their job, so they don't have a cousin or aunt or somebody to come. They need to know that the community is there for them. Let me go in your place. I'll go over there for you.
Mhm.
So I think that's the difference. We don't, as Chiffon said earlier, we don't have that village anymore. I think that's what I see as a difference. The village is not there.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank
When
you.
I was in middle
Okay,
school, Miss Austin got me together with that same pitch. She was like, "Now, George, I know you don't want me to call your grandfather up here to this school." I had lunch detention from that situation. I never got in trouble again, just off the threat,
very good.
because I didn't want to disappoint my grandfather, and I didn't want that tobacco stick or that dog collar going up my
Ooh.
backside. So but what you just said, Miss Austin, is something that we do need to give some thought to. How do we recreate that to where a parent or a family is not limited to just a parent, but how can we have community members there to advocate and support that child or that family in those times or those moments where maybe a parent was unable to leave work, or it doesn't have transportation. We have to find a way to show up for our kids in a better way than we have been.
We do.
I think
Gotcha.
I think one of the things Miss Austin said just now is when people being afraid of being fired, and she's got a good point on that. But I'll just tell you, Chiffon, you may have been on the bus with us when Miss Austin threw us off the bus at middle school. And we all had to walk all the way to the south side. You remember that? And I will never forget. Miss Austin got on that bus, and her quote was, "Riding this bus is a privilege, not a right.
Privilege, right?
Everybody get off." And we had to walk from the middle school all the way to me, South 10th,
Woo, Lord.
and all in those areas. Miss Austin didn't care about getting fired, but she had the backing, I'm sure, of the school system. And that's something these teachers got to know, that hopefully that they have the backing. You can't be afraid of being sued, um, superintendents and
Yeah.
all that. So you got to back these students up. I mean, these teachers up.
That's true.
All right. Siobhan,
Educators,
question for you.
educators. Uh,
It's a question for you. If
okay.
you could send one message to every parent before the school starts each year, what would that message be?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Um, I guess it would be. Ugh, I don't know. That's too hard. I'll say school supplies for one. Buy enough school supplies for the whole year. Just because you buy them in August, they run out by October. And some parents think I bought school supplies, but we use them the whole year. Secondly, I would say read to your kids or let your kids read to you at least 15 minutes a night so you know if they're struggling with words or if they're struggling with comprehension or you would know before the teacher calls you and say, hey, we need to do this, this, and this. That's all I can
Good
think
point.
of for now.
Good point.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, Pastor Milo, this question's for
Yes, sir.
you. Many parents are concerned about respect, accountability, and responsibility. How can parents build strong character and morale values in their children?
I mean, in that question, you first had to have it to instill it, and so you got to go back to the teaching that you was taught and the morals, responsibilities that was placed on you as you was growing up to keep it going down the line. I mean, you can't just think it's magically going to appear in a child, especially in these days and times, that they're going to have that because guess what? It's not a lot of respect out here, and so you have to first have the tools to pass the tools along in the generation of today. And so if you don't have it, you won't have it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, and here's the lightning round question. This goes out for everybody. What's one habit parents should stop and what's one habit when parents should start doing? So what they should stop doing and what they should start doing.
One habit they should stop doing is saying, "This is my child. You're not going to tell them what to do." You know what I'm saying? But you want me to teach little Johnny in school, So you got to stop that. And then one habit they should start is getting more involved in their kids' lives. Period. Just not sports, but all around. Know what your kid is doing. Be accountable for every hour, every second of the day. Be accountable for your children.
I think
Miss Austin?
see
Go ahead.
go ahead, Miss Austin.
I think what I see, if they start something, let's say they start playing basketball, they start being a cheerleader, whatever they start, teach them to be committed. You might not like it, but you're going to finish it because you started
Yep.
it. And
Mm-hmm.
I think they should do that. And then the other, I think they should stop is letting them have so much free time on social media without monitoring it. Because I
Mm-hmm.
think that's a lot of our issues right now. They're seeing too much violence, and so they're portraying some of that.
You, Chiffon?
I would ditto Miss Austin about the social media part. I would say one thing that they should start doing is attending board meetings if they can, but I know some of them are virtual, and attending those site based meetings because that's telling you everything that's going on in that school.
Hmm.
And then stop doing, well, I don't know if they'll stop it, but you know how the kids wear all those expensive clothes and shoes and things, but they can't read. But then they'll pick on Johnny, be a bully to Johnny over here because I'm wearing Jordans, I'm wearing this. I just wish they have uniforms. That's all. But yeah, that's not right. Let me get off of that one. Edit that, take that out. Let's see. Stop doing, I guess, would be embarrassing their children, like get into the argument with the educator about their child in front of the child. If you have an issue, have the child step out or call or something, but don't embarrass your child because the child thinks now they can disrespect the educator just like the mom did.
Yep. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, George.
I'd say one thing they should stop doing is giving their kids a choice in everything. Like they don't have to have just hey, everybody's entitled to opinion, but at some point you can't allow their preferences or their opinions to supersede what you know to be best for them, or to let them talk you out of challenging them, from doing things that they don't necessarily want to do. But yeah, stop giving them a choice. Sometimes you need to do it, and a lot of times after you do something that you're made to do, you actually are happy that you did it.
Mm-hmm.
And so stop giving them a choice in everything. And then one thing they can start doing is, I do like the reading, because that opens up opportunities for dialogue, but really having meaningful dialogue with your kids
Mm-hmm.
about what it is that they're feeling, what are they
Mm-hmm.
experiencing. My son is at an age where he's in the midst of puberty. I'm not gonna outsource his education on puberty to his peers at school,
Right.
who may have been exposed to something by an older sibling, and now he's coming home with this mindset, thinking that, okay, well, I'm supposed to think like this, or be feeling this way, or doing this or that. Like, having those meaningful engagements about what it is that they're hearing, so that you can correct the misinformation before it becomes something that they act on, or take to be true. And really just having those conversations beyond surface. Like, yeah, you can pick your child up from school and ask them how their school day is, and they're going to give you a it was good. You have to
Mm-hmm.
be more articulate in how you ask those questions, to bring out of them. Did you do something fun today, and did you do something that, what did you learn new today in school, or what was something that you did today, or was there an engagement in school today that made you question something that you heard at home, or something that I've taught you. Like, really having those deeper dialogues to really
Mm-hmm.
uncover what exactly they're thinking and experiencing on a daily, and doing that often. Those consistent check-ins, because I'm a firm believer. You let a child do whatever they want to do until they get 15, 16 years old. They are who they are at that point, unless some traumatic
Mm-hmm.
experience comes and changes their way of thinking. When they get to be a freshman and sophomore in high school, they are who they are. And that's because of what you did or didn't do as a parent in the household, and really having those consistent check-ins. That way you can stay on top of things before they really become an issue, and a headache and heartache.
Do I get
Man,
one too?
go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Mine is, I want parents to stop not knowing where your kids are and why they're out so late at night. I got
Mm-hmm.
two actually, but there is no reason that your child at 14, 15, or 16 is out past 10 o'clock. My daughter is right behind me somewhere. She 20 years old. I wish she would come up in my house at 2 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
My son, he 18. I wish he would even think about it. When I was 20 some years old, I bet not have rolled up in mama house after 12. I'm a grown man. Rolled up in her house after 12 o'clock. Now, here's what I really want to see stop. Parents, stop letting your child walk around with sweatpants on, sweatshirts on, and it's 100 degrees outside. Stop letting your child walk around with a backpack in the summer, knowing there ain't a book in there, and all you are doing is letting the police department believe there's something else in there. They're going in stores. All you are doing is allowing these stores to believe your child is up to no good, bringing a backpack or having a backpack on them in the summertime. So please stop letting that happen. Stop letting them walk around with these clothes on. If they get heat stroke, then you got to take them to the hospital, and then you got a doctor bill. So please stop doing that. Now, what I would love for parents to start doing, and I'm gonna quote Miss Seeley from Color Purple. I'm not gonna quote her because it'll mess up the algorithms. But you remember what Miss Seeley told Harpo when he was talking to Oprah? That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm gonna say mine real quick. Quick and simple. Parents either stop trying to be your kid's friend and
Mm-hmm.
start being a parent. Quick and
Amen.
simple. Quick and simple.
All right, I have
Go ahead,
one more
cuz.
thing that Savvy had another thing that he wanted to say, and this goes out to Tiant and Chiffon, because she said something about
All right.
class of '94 was the greatest class of ever at Tillman. Savvy said, "How can y'all consider yourself to be the greatest class that ever came out of Tillman if y'all got Coach Cox fired?" That cancels that out. Is basically what he's telling y'all. You cannot be. You got that man fired.
Dirty man, dirty man.
Hey, we just
Cannot
Rest
we
in
confirm or
peace,
just
Coach
deny.
Cox. Hey, that was a man right there who was part of the village too,
hey
Yes, sir.
especially if you
we
were a
Definitely.
football player.
we are just think about this. Let's that's a real statement. Think about the amount of turnover that came after he was fired. We are
Yes.
just recovering from that with the hiring of Coach Thompson, in my opinion, who's done a phenomenal job to change the culture and the expectations around our football program and the players. When you think about a decision like that, what you said that happened in '94, it took us over 15 years to get back to where we were. So it that just goes to show you having community members and community leaders outside of the home is vital. It's vital, and he I never got a chance to play for him, but I've heard his players speak about how he fed them, how he showed up for them, how he got them
Yeah,
out of
a parent would
situations
call. He
that
was there. Yeah.
he was there, whether you was doing it
Yeah.
right or you was doing it wrong. But because he showed up for you in those moments, the players allowed him to speak to them in the way that he did because they knew it was coming from a place of love and compassion and what was in their best interest. So because he showed up for them when they were at their lowest, he could coach them hard. He could ask more of them, and that's what we as community leaders have to be mindful of, that we got to show up and do it consistently, and then our kids will hear what we're saying, but we can't just expect them to say it just because we're older than them.
Right. All right. We got like 3 minutes left, and me and Tiant normally when we do a recording, we have this one part of the segment called "Sick and Tired of Being Sick and Tired." So each and every one of y'all get to give us a real quick what you're sick and tired of being sick and tired of. Miss Austin, we're gonna let you get it first.
Anything.
I
Could
don't
be
know.
anything.
Let me think. Go ahead if somebody's got one.
Okay,
Go
Chiffon,
ahead,
you
Milo.
got
You
one?
ready? Go ahead. Who's ready?
I
I'm
got
sick.
one.
Go ahead, Chiffon.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Milo.
I'm
Who's
sick and tired of being sick and tired of all the lip service of all the people in the bleachers that want to give all these ideas about these leaders getting all the city, like G touched on it. Man, nobody's coming to save us. What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? If you're not part of the
Yes.
solution, you're part of the problem, brother and sister.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So stop all the lip service, get involved. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have to be on the board to be a leader. If you don't consider yourself a leader in some type of way, then guess what? You're failing yourself. So I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of all the lip service of the people out the way.
All right, good one, Milo. That's my cousin right there. He must got whooped
Yeah,
by
no problem,
Robert
I
Willie.
sister.
got one. I'm sick and tired of people saying I'm a single mother, I'm a single father, and I can't. That's what they're blaming it on because there have been
Mhm.
many single mothers and single fathers who have raised excellent children with the village,
Amen.
with the help of a village.
Amen.
Amen. Yes, ma'am.
Amen. Absolutely. What you got, Chiffon?
well, mine is not in. Well, it is education. I'm sick and tired of being an educator. Well, I have been a certified teacher. I didn't like it, but I'm just saying, being an educator and we're the lowest on the totem pole of pay.
Amen.
We are, I mean,
Amen.
people at Chick-fil-A is making more than us. And this is ridiculous because everybody has to come through school to get a
Amen.
degree or whatever, whatever, whatever. So I'm sick and tired of being at the bottom of the totem pole with pay. But seeing that I've moved, I make way more money than I've ever made uh here as an educator. So still, but I'm still at the low, but you know what I mean. That's what I'm sick and tired of. We need more
Right.
money.
I agree with that. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, you
Amen.
do.
Amen.
What's up, G?
I'm sick and tired of parents and youth sport coaches brainwashing these kids into thinking they can only play one sport.
Mm,
And you play one sport year round and you think that that's the way you get better. You play multiple sports to develop your overall athleticism. You're going to use your speed, your agility, your hand-eye coordination, differently in these different sports. And we've been brainwashed and conditioned to think that, oh, if I play football or basketball year round, that's going to ensure that I get a scholarship. But these also, playing these different sports allows you to be in a different setting, a different makeup or dynamic on the locker room or the team, people from different walks of life. So you're missing the social education, the emotional development, and just the personal connections that come with playing youth sports and being able to develop your leadership skills, develop your work ethic, your communication skills, your competitive spirit. It's not a they're lying to you. They just trying to get in your pocketbook with all these travel and club expenses, and really you can stay local and just allow your kids to play in these youth leagues and let them choose their own path, or let fate and destiny choose it for them as you expose them. Don't force one sport on them trying to relive your childhood through your
Mm,
child.
mm,
Let your child have
mm.
a real chance at discovering what their talents and what their destiny is, and not trying to force what you wish you would have done onto your child because you fell short.
mm.
Stop brainwashing these kids. Stop choosing it for them. Let them choose for themselves through the exposures that you give
Amen. Get some golf clubs. That's the easy route.
them.
You got a good point there, G, because I know some of the football players, Coach Cox, pushed them to be part of the wrestling team. And Coach Cox and Coach Blackman, that was something that they pushed towards them. Hey, become part of the wrestling team. I remember Coach Cox tried to get Tion to play football because of his speed. So, but yeah, you got a good point there.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Every sport complements the next, and
Mhm.
college coaches are looking for multi-sport athletes way more than they're looking for an athlete that only played one sport. You just think about the personal development, the character development that comes with being exposed to the various sports that you just don't get by just playing a single one all the time.
Mm.
Good. All right, guys. Well, we really appreciate you all being on here. One last thing, I could not find the 50 Shades of Melanin. I thought I downloaded that one, but also starting August 1st, we have
Melanin,
another
boy,
thing
melanin,
going on. All right,
melanin,
whatever.
cuz.
Hey, I'm known for my bloopers, man. So let me be.
Yeah.
We have the 801 day. So shouts
Mm.
out to SDA Dudley Court. They will have an event at Noble Park, Shelter 16, Saturday, August the 1st from 3 to 7:30. So if you grew up in SDA, Dudley Court, or even in the surrounding areas, come on out and celebrate and get some of the history of 801 Day. I
Hey,
can't believe y'all
Cake,
gonna sit on here and
Cake.
laugh at me because I mispronounced something.
Hey, Cake. Far as that,
Yes.
with the 801 day, they just made it
Uh huh.
official. Up and we're gonna do the cooking and stuff, of course. You know what I'm saying? Because mom and them as SDA babies. As far as that, but yeah, but it's not just it's for the whole community. So I mean, and that's
Okay.
a opportunity to reach out. You know what I'm saying? Don't go mingle with the people that you know. Go look at a face that you don't know and get to know them. And that's how you start networking. That's how you start building relationships. You got to go to, I mean, we know who the people we grew up with and the people that we're familiar with, but what about those we don't know? That's who you got to reach. So just take the opportunity. That's a good opportunity to start.
And that's an
Right.
Yeah.
opportunity for our
I
city officials, our church, our church
say that,
Yeah.
ministers,
George.
our community leaders. Like, the people are going to be there. There's an opportunity for them to put a face with a name, to be able to
Mhm.
establish a rapport, Like, let's go meet these people where they are. It's a great opportunity. August the 1st, 3 to 7:30 at Noble Park. It's a great opportunity for people to come out, for our people, our leaders in our community to come out and connect with the people in a meaningful way and get to know them on a personal level.
And be advised, it will be backpacks given out with supplies already in them. So I mean, you ain't gotta go to Walmart. You know what I'm saying? Come get it.
That's what's up. Hey, I might even go out there and we might do Double Cousins live out there for 801. So Tion, you know, when you get in town, we're gonna do the one at the Coleman Park. We are gonna go live and interview people. So be Double Cousins live at 801.
Man, you know it's gonna be too hot for Cuz out there. He's light skinned.
Yeah, good point.
Don't do that.
All right, we're gonna jump you, all of us.
Don't do that.
Oh no.
We are outnumbered. We are outnumbered.
We are outnumbered.
Listen. I'm bringing my melon with me. So hey. So anyhow, thank each and every one of you for showing up and showing out, man. Your perspective is really, really appreciated. The community needed to hear this, and we definitely hope to have you on again. Feel free if you got something you want to talk about, you want to express. Feel free. Let us know.
Or even some ideas.
Everyone is welcome. Everyone is welcome. You know, your voice is important, and we want to make sure that it's heard. And we definitely thank you all for taking time out of your busy day. Come on here and give a feedback.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. Y'all appreciate y'all even starting this, man, to be able to provide a platform to have these community conversations and, you know, to be able to reach the community and, you know, where they are. They're online, they're on social media. What you guys are doing, I believe, is the start of something great, man. So just continue to work together and reach the people and keep doing your thing, man. We're proud of you. We're cheering you guys on. Keep up the great work.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey,
I still don't appreciate y'all laughing at me.
Hey.
Go ahead, close it out, Kiki.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Milo. What is it?
I was gonna say, man, and you know, when you growing, I know a lot of people gonna take from this, you know what I'm saying, hey man, beating up the parents is no, it's just trying to make you aware of what part of the issue is, you know what I'm saying, that you have to do your part. You know, it's not a beat up session, it's just making you aware of where you know what I'm saying, we just opinionated where we feel that the issue is coming from. So, you know, the first thing people gonna say is, oh, they beating up the parents. Man, hey, take the beat down and do better. You know what I'm saying? If you knew better, you do better. So
listen, cuz listen, this podcast is real talk, real family, and real fun. So hey, it is what it is.
If you can't take the heat in the kitchen, don't come on here. Because we don't play. And again, appreciate y'all. Thank you, everyone who's watched it. Be on the lookout for the short videos. Definitely like and share the podcast on YouTube. It helps it helps us get further out. I'm just really messing up today. I'm gonna take that out. It helps our algorithms.
Hey, G, as Deacon Cakey when he got in that cup.
he did just turn it up a couple minutes ago.
Hey man, Miss Alston on here. Why y'all doing that? Come on now. Gonna get me put in the White House.
Class of '93 education. That's what it was. That class of '93 education.
This has been great. Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
All right. Be blessed.
Peace out, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Love.